Down there, through all the undergrowth and under the railway bridge, is Coryton station. I'm going to take a walk, hopefully, up to Asda's on the old railway line. I remember when we were kids, there used to be a fellow up here who used to keep pigs on the side of this bank. And there's a fence going across the track here, a wooden fence, to keep his pigs in. It's about by here somewhere, up on that bank there, where the trees are new. And we used to go up on top of that bank up there, top of that bridge, and shout out. The dogs would be barking, and a fellow, I think he must have lived here. In a little shed he came out and chased us. And another time we used to go up the flats up there, beach house flats, 10-storey flats, and up and down in the lift, up one lift and down the other one, and then we'd have the caretaker or watchman chasing after us. We go up one and he'd go down the other one, and that's how it was. A few trees have come down here, but I don't think it's anything to do with the building of the new hospital. I think myself, in the wind, a lot of these trees are old, and in the wind they'd fallen down, and a bit danger to people, because this is a well-used track for walkers, dog walkers and cyclists, I suppose. And a lot of trees in the past have come down and blocked the path, so any dangerous trees they cut them down. That's my thinking anyway. Here's a tree here, for example, over the path. I know it's not a big tree, but it's a tree all the same. And more trees up there coming down. That's what I think has happened up here. Why a lot of these trees have been cut down, because they were dangerous. It's not looking too good up there, it's been open. We must have cut down a lot of trees up here, but I hope there's no fence across the path, otherwise you've got to go all the way back down to Coryton. I don't want to go all the way back down there if I can help it. It looks like we can walk through, hopefully. You can see the ridges here of where the track bed was here. And the sleepers and the railway lines. This is a single track line up here. I always thought it was double, but it was single apparently. Here we are. This is where they've been cutting all the trees down for a new bridge on a road from the interchange at junction 32, I should imagine. We've cut a lot of trees down. This is what it must have been like in the old days when the train used to run up here. Open like this before the trees took over, and it must have been very lovely. Sun coming through. Not like it is down there, dark and no sunlight. Over the top of that brow there is Asda's car park. They got fancy fencing there, look, with Mark Ivy on it. What's the point of that? Make it look pretty? looking south towards Coryton station. There's a big pile of wood here. If I had been about 9 or 10, I would have thrown a match in there, because I remember years ago, I must have been about 8 or 9, Watkins Field was in the middle lock of the canal, and behind the lock was a big field full of ferns, and me and Graham Beach went up there one day, and I threw a match in these ferns. Well, God, did we run. The ferns, the fire, the flames were really tall, you know, and we ran like hell. But at the same time, as more or less, as I emptied the canal with that spanner. Here we go, back into the dark. There's a viaduct coming up that goes from the top meadow over to Wowslers. And here it is here coming up. This is the entrance to the top meadow. And over there, well, by here, there's a big white gate post by there. There's one. And there's another one over here. And I think this must have been something to do with Kleinmacht Farm, where Fred Flay used to be. You can see the farm, or the top of the farm, from about by here. It's where Adler's is now. A big green and whitewashed house. It's part of the long, we're at the top end of the long woods, as far as we can walk up towards Adler's, you know what I mean? And these are all beech trees down here. But down here is the way to Coryton, or not Coryton I should say, the top of the Stony Hill, where we will see later on. This is a top meadow, and this here is the arena, which I said in an earlier video, because it looked like an arena. And I remember one year, a long time ago, it was snowing, and we'd been over to the hospital and got a trolley. Those big steel 3 wheels on it. Well, we knocked the wheels off. We carried this bloody thing all the way up here to use the sledge. We put it on the snow, and that's where it stayed. Didn't go anywhere after all that carrying and messing about. So yeah, here's the arena. It's overgrowing slowly. Like I used to come up here and I used to sit up there. Those brambles are with my last dog. Very nice day out. But yeah, the brambles are slowly taking over. Down that path there, you come to Watkins Field and the canal. But this is the path going through the bottom end of the long woods. The path on the left goes to the top meadows, but the path on the right, where we're going, goes through the woods. See you in a minute. I was walking through your window a long time ago, with my last dog. And it's only an hour path, as you can see. And up behind me is ding, 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 ding. Turn it on. There's a young kid on a bike. Oh, I just carried on walking. Ding, ding, ding. I shouted, yes, I heard you. Where do you think I'm going to go? Down there? And I felt like actually pushing a bugger down there. About by here, when we were kids, there was a swing, like cars in a jungle. And on by here somewhere, these are all new, obviously. This is going back to about 1958, 57, something like that, 56 maybe. And there's a big tall tree in there, it's gone now. And a big rope, must have been about inch and a half thick, maybe 2 inches, don't matter, it's a big thick rope. And it's bringing the rope right up here to this path. Swing down there over the canal. A few boys fell in the canal actually. Maybe about 3 or 4 of us on this big knot on this rope. And we come up here, who's boarding next? And somebody would jump off and they go down there. Oh yes, happy days. Really were happy days. And another time, later than that, gang of us, about midnight, walked through these woods. Well, who's going to go in front? I don't want to go in front, so we ended up, well, you know, 2 or 3 abreast, maybe more. But yes, I'm sure the swing was down by there. All this, and all the ground was red because the trees had gone and all the vegetation had been worn away with us. So, yeah, happy days. Yeah, there were several boys from school. I remember Alan Bladen up here. He was a postman and now he lives down by the old mill, by College Road. The top end of College Road by the pub. He lives down there somewhere now. He used to be a postman. And he'd be up here. And, yeah. Yes, that'd be him, me, Percy Ford, dialect maybe. There's a gang of kids from the town as well. And down here every day after school. Come to the swing. And another time we're up here and there was me, Percy Ford, a lad called John Joshua, he's gone. The twins, Willie and Frankie Reese, Johnny Bell maybe, Di Bobbin, and we had a gunfight up here, it's like the OK Corral. And we had air guns, they're hiding behind the trees, shooting. And one of the boys got shot on the nose, more or less in his eye. And that's where we stopped. We were bloody fools. But looking back, you don't realise the danger when you're young. You got, you know. But as you get older, all you do is think, bloody idiots. And we were, in a way. Well, one thing's for sure. I won't be walking down through here again because you've got tree roots and some places the path is corroded, gotten narrower and brambles are taking over. So I think this will be my last time walking through here. That path goes up to the meadow, the first one. So we're more or less now at the top of the stony hill. The canal is down there. You can't see it from here, got too much too many trees in the way and vegetation. It's on the bottom there. You can probably see it in the winter time, all the leaves have died and everything's died off, and the lily pads have died in the canal. You probably will see it then, but not this time of year. It was the longest day yesterday. There's the canal down there. This is the top of the stony hill. And in here, behind all this overgrown laurel hedge, was a house. I think it must have belonged to well, it did belong to the hospital, and must have been the person who ran the piggery and everything else lived. A big substantial stone house. They knocked it down like the one on the farm, knock it down. No good. What a waste. This one here now would have been worth a fortune. The one on the farm would have been worth a fortune. And there's also a house by the end of the road called the Grange. Or it was called the Grange. It was a huge house. The students had it, the student nurses had it. Like a house in your, as in flats sort of thing. Gone, knock it down. What's there now? Nothing. Wasting money. They're putting a path down here. I suppose when it rains, will this harden? Because underneath here it's like earth, and when it rains it'll go muddy. But that's what's going to happen. It'll get wet and harden. Like I said before, you couldn't walk up here because it's brambles and holly bushes and that fence by there, the green fence, well, railings they were, but they'd been there for so long they'd had corroded and rusted. Same thing, corrosion and rusted. Ricky, come here. All those logs over there. Now I could do with those, some of them, but not all of them, for my fire in my van in the winter. Free heating. Yes, I think maybe this is where they're going to come in and set to work in there. Work has stopped because there's been a family of dormice found in the field, so it's all been stopped for the time being. Seems a bit silly to me. Some little dormice that do all this, you know, stop the work. Yes, when it rains here, this one gets turned into mud. But that down there maybe go hard. Oh, there's more here. Perhaps they ran out, I don't know. But it's much easier to walk down here now because there's brambles and puddles when it rains. And holly bushes and that fence over there, more or less collapsing. And here's a bridge here we saw earlier at the start of the video, over the line at Coryton. It must have been used for the farm in the hospital, because over behind there was a piggery over there, and this must have been used access from Coryton farm down to here. Yes, there's the old river line. And we would be up here when we were kids and shout down because, like I said earlier, there was a fella down there, he had pigs. And I don't know how many pigs there were, but the dogs be barking. It's been a dark, you know, and he's shouting. Yeah, we got for all sorts of things when we were younger.